Hey y'all, it's Kay from the Literary Apothecary and welcome back to my channel. Coming in this week with that extra video I had promised last week and probably the week before that. Life had got crazy with work and school and everything and didn't have time to film this, but I'm coming in now. I made sure to reserve some time today to film this so I can get it up for y'all this week. That is finally my dedicated review for A Declaration of the Rights of Magicians by HG Parry. This is book 1 in the Shadow History series. I think this is a duology. I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. It took me 2 months to read, but I enjoyed a lot of it. Quick spoiler-free summary for A Declaration of the Rights of Magicians. This was a fun and imaginative view of what history could have been like with magic. It dives into the French Revolution with key historical figures like Robespierre, and it's at the age of enlightenment and a genre-defying story of magic, war, and the struggle for freedom. Now this is going to be a quick review. Like I said, it's just my quick thoughts on it. If you want to see my full review diving deep into my CAWPILE scores, you can look at that on my blog, which is in the description below. My general thoughts before we get into my CAWPILE score: this was a fun and engaging read that I enjoyed so much. But the prose was slow and it took a lot of concentration that I didn't have a lot of in the past couple months, and that's why it took me so long to get through. But I did really enjoy it, and that's why I pushed through even when I didn't quite have that concentration. I didn't want to DNF it because I was still loving it. My initial rating finishing this book was a 3.5 stars. Now my CAWPILE scores, I'm going to go through this really quickly. Like I said, you can see the full breakdown and all of my thoughts on these different categories in my written review. Characters, I gave an 8. It was great seeing these historical characters in this setting. Speaking of setting, atmosphere and setting, I gave a 9.5 out of 10. I thought this felt like I was just dumped back into history, but history in a different way, history with magic. Writing style, I gave a 6. It was mostly the really slow prose. Footnotes didn't bother me so much. It was just the slow prose that took all that concentration that I didn't have at times. Plot, I gave a 5 because it's hard to really find out what the plot was besides just these historical moments with magic. It felt like it was definitely more about the characters than the plot itself. Intrigue, I gave an 8.5. I thought that the intrigue was one of the things that kept this book going. It kept me into reading it. What was going to happen next, and who was it going to happen to, and who was going to be the driving force behind it. I thought the intrigue was done really, really well here. Logic and relationships, I gave a 7.5. Everything made sense, even when it didn't necessarily make sense at that moment. And the relationships, I loved seeing the building and breaking of different relationships in this book because of magic. It was so, so well done. And last but not least, enjoyment, I gave a 7. I enjoyed it mostly, but that slow prose made me enjoy it a little bit less at times. This gave me a total of 51.5 divided by our 7 categories, which gives me a score of 7.3, which gives me 4 stars, which is where I get that 4-star rating from. And my one spoiler-free quote from this book, I feel like this quote just sums up the book so well. You'll realize that fear is the most dangerous obstacle to reform that there is. And that just, to me, sets up the story and the characters and especially that setting and that atmosphere so, so well. So that's my quick review for A Declaration of the Rights of Magicians. Man, that title is such a mouthful, but I finally got it out for y'all. So there's your extra video this week that has been coming for a couple weeks. Stay tuned for more videos, and if you have read this book, let me know in the comments below. What did you think of it? What was your favorite moment in the book? As always, my Patreon and my Discord information will be in the description below, as well as a link to my blog where you can go and see the full breakdown of this review. Keep reading, and I love y'all to the moon and back. Bye.